Hello everyone, my name is Ella and I'm a Girl Scout senior. Thank you for joining me today to earn your Brownie First Aid badge. To earn our badge, we're going to complete 5 steps. First, we're going to learn how to get help from 911 and when to call 911. We're going to be doing this by watching a short video by Foremost Promotions featuring Emergency Ernie. Second, we're going to take a virtual tour of Carbondale Fire Station number 2 as we learn all about firehouse and fire safety. Then we're going to learn about a first aid kit, how to treat minor injuries, and how to prevent and treat minor injuries that may occur outside.
Hi, my name is Emergency Ernie, and I want to tell you how to get help in an emergency situation. The best way to get help is to dial 911.
What's 911?
911 is a special telephone number that we use in emergencies. You can dial 911 from any telephone. When we call 911, we get connected to a friendly dispatcher who can send help.
Hi, my name is Dispatcher Donna. It is my job to answer 911 calls and send help. This is the 911 Dispatch Center where I work. A friendly dispatcher will always be here to answer your call, even in the middle of the night.
Not every emergency situation requires you to call 911. Sometimes you just need to tell your mom, dad, or other adult. For example, you don't need to dial 911 if you skin your knee, the power went out, or you lost your dog. However, here are a few situations where you do need to call 911. Let's take a look. If you see a fire, first, make sure you are away from the fire. Then call 911. The dispatcher will notify the fire department and help will be on the way. When there is a car accident, sometimes a person can be hurt. Calling 911 can help make sure the police and rescue personnel are on the way. When someone is seriously injured, like after falling down the stairs, dial 911 and the dispatcher will send an ambulance right away.
What do you do when you call 911?
When you call 911, it is important that you speak slowly and clearly. Tell the dispatcher what the emergency is, your name, and where you are. Make sure you do not hang up until the dispatcher tells you it is okay to do so. The dispatcher is there to help you and to get help to the people who need it as quickly as possible. You can do your part by answering all the dispatcher's questions. Let's look at a few situations and decide together if we should call 911. Oh no! There's a house on fire. Should we call 911? Yes, you're right. Oh no. Johnny's dog Snickers is lost. Should he call 911? No. Uh-oh. Tommy fell off his skateboard and his knee is bleeding. Should he call 911? No. Oh no. Mrs. Henderson has fallen down the stairs and is unable to get up. Should we call 911? Yes, you're right. Oh no. A car skidded off the road and hit a tree. Should we call 911? Yes, we should. Great job, everyone. Thanks for helping me call 911. Remember, dialing 911 is the best way to get help in an emergency, but sometimes it's better to check with an adult. If in doubt, make the call. It's better to be safe than sorry. See you next time.
Hello everybody, I'm Jay Crippen. I'm Assistant Chief with the Carbondale Fire Department, and with everybody sheltering in place and not able to come do tours at the fire station, we thought maybe we could bring the fire station to you guys through Facebook and talk about the things that go on in the fire department and some fire safety. So come on inside and join us. Our training room is much like you guys' classroom. It's where we continue working on making sure our skills are good and continuing education for the fire service. So while we're here in the training room, I want to point out a couple of things. With you guys being at home and probably doing a lot of schoolwork on the computers, trying to communicate with your teachers and keep your education stuff going throughout the schools, we want to point out some fire safety hazards. One of the things that we want to avoid doing is using an extension cord to plug things like laptops in. We definitely want to make sure that there's no knots in the cord. These generate heat and can cause a fire. And if you don't need an extension cord, we need to unplug it and not use it. And anytime we leave a device that's plugged into an extension cord, we need to unplug that. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and take you from the training room now, and we'll show you the bedrooms. We'll go walk down the hallway this way. So because we spend so much time here, 24 hours a shift, at Station 2 here, we have our own bedrooms that we share with the other shifts. Each person has a bunk and a cabinet to keep their clothes in. We spend 24 hours here, and then we go home for 48 hours, and then we come back and do it again. So we have to have a place to rest since we're here for such a long shift. And while we're in here, I want to remind people a little bit of fire safety. When you're charging your cell phone and laying in bed, talking on the phone, or maybe texting friends, that we don't want to put the cord and charge your phone underneath a pillow, because that gets so hot it could cause not only a fire, it could cause a burn injury to you.
How's it going? My name is Matt Wozniak. I'm a firefighter here at Carbondale Fire Department. I'm going to go over some of the stuff in the kitchen as well as our living room that we have at the firehouse here, because like said, Assistant Chief Crippen said, this is our home away from home. We work 1 out of 3 days. We're here 24/48. So this is our living room and kitchen. We spend some time here when we're not on calls. We eat breakfast, we eat lunch, we eat dinner together just like a family. People will always ask, why do we have so many pantry closets and so many refrigerators? Well, there's 3 shifts, so each shift has their own pantry with their own food goods in it, as well as each refrigerator for each shift. We'll walk over to the stove and the sink area, and we'll go over some fire prevention tips while we're all at home sheltering in place. That way we can stay safe while we're cooking. Some of the things we want to look at is we want to make sure we have nothing combustible, no dry material near an open flame or a heat source. So we want to make sure all that stuff stays far away from the flame. That way we don't catch nothing on fire. Another thing we want to make sure we're doing while we're cooking is have all our handles turned inwards. We don't want any toddler to be pulling on the handle, or you walking by and you knock that handle off the stove and you'll splash hot liquid or hot food onto a toddler or even yourself and get a serious burn. We always want to make sure stuff's covered, and whenever we are cooking, we don't want to leave it unattended. We also want to make sure we have an ABC extinguisher, and that's marked by the 3 pictures on the extinguisher, or it'll have a big ABC. This means we can use it on combustible material, liquids, as well as electrical fires. Basically a good household extinguisher. However, we need to make sure that you're trained to use one, and prior to using one, you call 911. We want to make sure we have working smoke detectors in our homes, 1 on each floor, 1 in every bedroom, and in the common areas. We need to make sure they work by testing them every month, as well as changing batteries every 6 months. From here, we're going to go to the workout room, and then we'll go into the emergency operations center of the fire station. This is one of the most important rooms in the firehouse. We all need to make sure we're physically strong and able to do this job efficiently and fast. So we do spend a lot of time in here and our allotted time to work out and make sure we're able to perform our duties to the best of our capability. From here, we'll go into the EOC, and you can follow me.
So the Carbondale Fire Department here on Glenview has the City of Carbondale's Emergency Operations Center inside of it. So come on inside and we'll show you a few things. Typically, the Emergency Operations Center is used for any disaster that's a citywide response beyond just the fire department. Things like the derecho from 2009, all the way to severe weather where we have to sound the storm sirens for tornadoes or things like that. Right now, we're monitoring all the COVID-19 response and the day-to-day operations and all the information we get that comes into here, and then we disseminate it out.
So if you ever visit a firehouse, you'll see our gear next to the fire truck. It's not because we're messy, it's actually because we're ready to go. We have our boots in our pants for quick access, as well as our coat and our microphone hanging from the side of the truck so we can easily put it on. And then in the seats, you'll notice that we have our air packs ready to go like a backpack. So as we're going to the emergency, we can put our air packs on. So now we're gonna go over putting our gear on and explaining what the gear does for us. Firefighter Dave here is gonna practice putting his gear on, and we'll explain what each part of the gear does. So he's gonna go ahead and take off his station shoes and slip his feet right into his safety boots. From there, his pants come right on up because we're ready to go from the ready position. Those boots have metal plates that protect not only his toes, but the bottom of his feet, as well as fire-resistant material to protect from burns. His pants are a ripstop material with reflective striping on the bottom so we can see one another during a fire in the smoke conditions. From there, he's putting on his Nomex hood, which helps protect his ears, hair, and neck from burns. He puts on his radio strap for communications. Next thing, he's going to put on his bunker coat, which again is made out of that fire-resistant material, also ripstop with reflective striping, so we can see one another, and we can also identify him with his name on the back of that coat. From there, he's going to put on his SCBA cylinder, or his air pack we call it. This is just like a backpack that you carry your books in. However, we carry our air with us so we can breathe. He'll adjust his straps. Now these are also planted in our truck, so whenever we're going to the call, that air pack's already in the seat and we just put it on as we're en route. Following putting on his SCBA or his air pack, he's going to go ahead and don his face piece. It's important to know that underneath that face piece, it's still Firefighter Dave. He's still a friendly firefighter, and the face piece may change the way he looks. We want to make sure no one's scared of him. If we're ever in an emergency, we want to make sure people come to us and not hide from us. This face piece acts as a respirator as well as protects his face and his eyes, gives him eye protection. After his face piece is on, he's going to go ahead and put that Nomex hood on, which protects his hair and his ears. From there, he's going to put on his helmet. That helmet protects his head from falling debris. He'll tighten the chin strap. Next thing, he's putting on his gloves, protect his hands, gives him dexterity in a fire. And finally, he will clip on air, which then gives him a self-contained breathing apparatus from the air bottle that he carries to his respirator, and he is now self-contained and he can work in an emergency situation.
Thanks for coming and visiting us here at the Carbondale Fire Department. We hope you enjoyed your virtual tour. We hope to be able to get tours going again soon once all the COVID-19 shelter in place dies down. We appreciate it. We want to give a shout out to the Carbondale Police Department, and we want to challenge them to show you guys what their police station looks like. So until we get a chance to see you, have a good day.
Garage is opening. Gonna start her up. It's gonna get a little loud. Get our seat belts on. Here to go code. And we're off.
Okay everyone, now that we have learned when to call 911 and when not to call 911, and we've learned some fire safety and what a firehouse looks like, we're going to create a first aid kit. First aid kits can come in many sizes, shapes, and have many different uses. For example, my mom carries a small first aid kit just like this one in her handbag. These just contain little things like creams and band-aids, Tylenols, anything like that. And you can make your own like this using a Ziploc baggie. Or you can make a bigger first aid kit using any sort of bigger container like a lunchbox, a toolbox, or a fishing box. All of these work nicely. But you can make another type of first aid kit like this one using a tin or even a shoebox. You just want to make sure that your items stay organized and that you can find what you need when you need to find it. Whatever sort of box you choose or bag you decide to use for your first aid kit, make sure that you take your time and to decorate and label it so that everyone knows it's your first aid kit. Now let's go over some items that we want to have in our first aid kit. The first item you want is a pair of gloves. A pair of gloves will protect you from any germs the injured person is carrying. It also protects you from the blood, which could also be carrying diseases. The second item that you want to include is hand sanitizer or hand wipes to clean your hands. These items can be in small bottles or individual packages. Either one works, it just depends on the size of your kit. I showed you an example of hand sanitizer, and then here are 2 little examples of hand wipes, but you can have any kind of hand wipes. Wet ones work as well. The next item you want is wound wash or a disinfecting wipe. It's important to clean the wound once it's no longer bleeding. To clean the wound wash, which is just soap and water, is the best to use. It'll clean the wound, kill germs, and hurt less than using alcohol or something similar, which tends to burn and irritate the wound. You also want some sort of antibiotic ointment. Sometimes this can be called ABC cream or Neosporin, like these. Like a lot of other first aid kit supplies, you can get this in larger tubes or individual packets. When putting this on the wound, you either want to put it on with cotton swabs, just like these, or put it on directly on the bandage before you put the bandage on the wound. You do not want to put the container on the wound. Putting the tube on the wound could get germs on your tube. So now that we've mentioned bandages, let's talk about them. You want to have a variety of bandages in your first aid kit. There are little ones like these for your fingers, and there are larger ones for scraped knees. There's also the normal bandage, which is just like this. This can be used on any sort of wound. You also want to have some gauze in your bag as well. These will stop the bleeding to a more severe injury and also provide more cushion. Some other items you should have in your first aid kit are a thermometer. This one is an individual disposable one. We have a pack of these because we use them in our Girl Scout troop first aid kit, and it's easy to make sure that they are always clean. You also want to have scissors or nail clippers, tweezers, and pain relievers. Some examples of these are Tylenol, Advil, Motrin, and there are many other types. You should have both adult and children's strength in your kit. We use our kit when we go camping and on field trips, so I'm going to review some other items that we keep in our kit. We keep one of these small emergency blankets. It may not look warm, but when you wrap someone in it, and the sun helps to keep them warm. We also keep anti-itch cream, because sometimes you may get a bug bite or a sting, or even worse. We get touched. We use our kit when we go camping and on field trips, so I'm going to review a few other items that we keep in our kit. We use one of these small emergency blankets. It may not look warm, but when you wrap someone in it, the sun helps to keep them warm. We also keep anti-itch cream, because sometimes we may get a bug bite or a sting or even worse. We may even touch a poisonous plant such as poison ivy, poison oak, or sumac. This is a picture of each of those plants. You want to make sure to avoid these plants whenever you're outside hiking or camping or doing whatever. Dressing properly and taking the proper precautions. Now we're going to review some basic first aid. It's a good idea to keep small reminder cards in your kit just in case you need to refer to them when you're helping to treat a minor wound. So if you haven't already, now's a good time to print one of the first aid treatment cards that we have had listed in our materials. So this is my sister Maddie, and she's going to be here to help me demonstrate how to treat some minor wounds. So the first one we're going to be talking about is a nosebleed. First, I'm going to ask her if I can help her.
Yes.
And if she says yes, I'm going to put my gloves on. Now I'm going to encourage her to pinch above her nostrils and lean her head forward. Then I'm going to grab my ice pack, break it, shake it up, and then wrap it in a cloth, just to make sure that the ice pack does not hurt her when I put it on her skin. Once it's wrapped, I'm going to apply it to the back of her neck. This is going to help to slow the blood flow to her head, which then goes to her nose. The nosebleed should stop in around 10 minutes. If it does not, we will want to call 911. But regardless of what happens, I want to get an adult and let them know what is happening. So now I'm going to be showing you how to treat a wound. First, I'm going to put on my gloves after asking her if she wants help. If she does not respond, I'm going to assume she needs or wants help. Then once my gloves are on, I'm going to take gauze and apply pressure to the wound. I'm going to know when it stops bleeding because on the gauze, the blood will no longer appear wet. Once I've stopped the bleeding, I'm going to start by cleaning it with wound wash. I'm going to clean the area and then give it a minute to dry before I apply my antibiotic ointment. Then once it's on my cotton swab, I'm going to apply it to the wound. Once it's applied to the wound, I'm going to open my Band-Aid. And add it over the cut for protection. After 2 minutes, the bleeding should have stopped. And you can clean the wound, apply the antibiotic ointment, and a bandage. Again, always tell an adult if the wound is serious, and you can call 911 if you have to. Now you can review the rest of the cards and practice caring for someone at home. Feel free to make a video and take a picture of your role play and send them to us on Facebook or at communications@gscm.org. Thank you for joining me today.